that automatically, if you plug, any MIDI keyboard or any MIDI controller in, it will automatically control that with the pitch bend. Of course, you can reassign it to anything else that you want. But by default, MIDI notes will trigger all the beat repeats. The pitch bend will always do the filter, which is really cool. So, the different modules that we have, there's a stutter module. That is the module that actually does the beat repeats. So, for instance, on this one, it's set to 16th notes. Which, what is that in English? Semi-quavers. Yeah. Thank you. And I should know that because I'm English, but I've been in Boston for too long. Because iZotope is in the United States. So yeah, so this is the beat repeat. So right here, I'm doing semi-quavers. How does it know that these semi-quavers are the same ones that are in this piece of music? Because Stutter Edit automatically syncs to the host tempo. So you could be using it, I'm using it here in Ableton Live. You can use it in Cubase, in Pro Tools and Logic, in Reaper. Really, whatever host that we support in iZotope, and a few more that we don't, Stutter Edit will automatically detect the tempo of your track, and all of its beat repeats will be synced to that, without question. So Stutter is the module where you can say, and if you guys want to come a little bit closer, if it's hard to see, I don't know, but you can say, okay, this is a 16th note, maybe I want to start at a 32nd note and go all the way to an 8th note. So that's where you set the value of the beat repeat. And you can go really, really ridiculous. So you can go all the way to like 1024th note, which is more like a hemi, demi, semi, insert more words here, quaver. And if I do that, it really becomes granular synthesis. So it's a great way of like really messing with your beats. You can make that even a bit slower. Or faster. So it is kind of like an instrument as well. You can start getting a bit musical with it. We have a keyboard up here, so you can start adding certain pitches. And this time around you're sort of starting with a so I'm switching all the way from beat repeats to notes. So Stutter is the module that you use to literally take a beat of the bar and just repeat. How do we decide which beat of the bar to take? So the way I have Stutter Edit set up is that I have a ton of different beats here. They're just playing straight into Stutter Edit, which is a plugin that's inserted on an audio track. And there's just audio on that audio track, and then I'm sending MIDI to it from this keyboard. So there's audio constantly coming in and going out of this plugin. So the next module after Stutter that's worth pointing out, this guy here, the buffer position, it's beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So if I maybe use, so here I'm going to be repeating my kick drum because I'm repeating beat 1. But if I wanted to repeat beat 2 with the same key, it's the snare drum instead. So you can set up instantly like I want these beat repeats. I want eighth notes or quarter notes, crotchets or quavers or whatever. It will always be in tempo, and then you can even tell it which beat of the bar to grab from your beat, which as you can hear, it does absolutely in real time, and because it's a performance-based tool, there's no latency. It's not like you have to. It's not like and my CPU here is 3%, which for a live performance, I can go as crazy as I want, and it won't crash. And when I do that, I'm loading probably hundreds of effects very, very quickly. Can't say that sounded too good, but it's very reliable. So it's very easy to just grab different beats of the bar, and you can even flip them into reverse too. So sometimes, if you just want to do that quick kind of beat, pull up, pull down with the reverse function, And again, this is happening in real time. So even in real time, it's able to say, okay, this is the next 4 beats of music. I'm going to flip them into reverse, and you can do whatever you want with them. So that's pretty cool. And then we've added other modules too. So as you're doing your beat repeat, you can also be filtering it or adding a delay. So this is our reverse. Just add a bit of a delay on it. So now, I've added delay, maybe it's better for a transition or something. Or maybe this is it might be good for something like that. And often the way I have it set up, if I open the preset manager, because also it's worth noting, you know, if the first look at this plugin, this interface is kind of intimidating, there's so many different things to control, where do I start? So it comes with hundreds, literally hundreds of presets, and they're all organized in different categories. So I'm in glitch right now. You probably picked up on that. But if I went to, I don't know, stereo tricks, and then you can hear it's kind of. And they're sort of divided up in a bunch of different useful categories. We have some time manipulation ones, we have stereo, we have sort of reverb, space type ones for dub music. I guess dubstep, more like what it used to be in London, when it was sort of more reggae based. We have a lot of presets for that too. We also have generators. If I choose a generator, you'll see I can also use this to create sweeps and build-ups. Sounds like there's a build-up happening now, so. So each key can be either a noise generator, a sweep, a build-up, or it can be a beat repeat. So you can kind of have them all mixed up on one thing. So often I have, I have a preset. Because you see here, as I press different keys on a preset, this is how I load the different configurations. So this is called Rebel Alliance Laser, and it's triggered this configuration of effects. This one right here, it's called Bit Beater number 3, and I've loaded this configuration of effects. So you can have across your keyboard a maximum of 128 different configurations of the 13 effects. So, I mean, you can just go deeper and deeper and deeper, or you can just use the presets, and you never have to go deeper because there's already so many provided for your benefit. And, you know, sometimes I have maybe my noise generator set up here on my keyboard or on my drum pads, and then I have my beat repeat set up down here, so that I know when it's live or when it's dark and I can't see my controller as well. I know exactly which keys I can press and know kind of what result I'll get. But it's also designed, even if you kind of maybe hit the wrong key, hopefully it won't sound too bad, because it is, like I said, beat sync. So you can hit the key and, you know, you might make a mess of it, but it will still trigger the effect on beat, in time, make sure it sounds good. You do have the opportunity to turn that off if you wish, you know, if you want to be completely free and crazy and use it more as a sort of a sound design tool. I'm gonna choose a different song. I'm a bit bored of that one. Maybe I'll slow it down a bit. So this is a good example. I just slowed down the tempo in Ableton. I typed a new tempo in. Stutter will automatically have picked up on it, so I don't need to worry about it. So you see there, I have beat 1, kick drum, beat 2, snare drum. So I know that I can do beat juggling. And by the way, I've never DJed with vinyl. I've tried it and it's fun, I'm just not very good at it. There's no way I could do accurate beat juggling that way. I couldn't say, oh, that's my snare, I can't do that. But I know here, I can just go between C and D sharp and sort of go. So I know that it's really easy to do that, even without knowing in the piece of music, you know, where those beats fall, because I can just set it and stutter it. So it's really easy to do. If I wanted my snare drum to be 16th notes, then yeah, so dead simple to do it that way. And if I was to build up kind of a little bit of a preset with that snare drum, maybe I want to do some filtering at the same time. Make it a bit lo-fi. Maybe add a delay. So you can see the delay just, you know, will carry on. I was talking more about the transition, so. So it's a really powerful tool. You can kind of go a bunch of different ways with it. It does have a lot of different sounds, different capabilities. Those are kind of reflected in the presets that you get with the plugin. And we also periodically, with all of our plugins, to be fair, we release new presets. So, you know, people who had been using Stutter for the past year, in August, they could download for free, you know, another sort of 200 or so presets that they could just install and then have to use for as long as they wish. And also new customers buying Stutter could also get the extra presets. So we're always giving people a bit more to play around with. Because oftentimes the best way into the plugin is let's use a bunch of presets, kind of see what they're doing, and then once you get a handle on that, and you can just start using it in your own productions. Obviously I'm using it live here as more of a DJ tool, but you could have it just on your drum audio track, or just on your vocals. You could have, you know, 3 or 4 Stutter Edit plugins on different pieces of audio in the mix. So if you're making a track and you want to glitch up just your vocal or just your guitar, you can do that. And the way that you kind of make it happen as a production tool, you just hit record in the MIDI notes, and then those MIDI notes will play back, you know, every time, and they'll trigger Stutter Edit in real time every time. So you can just record all the MIDI information. So as I'm performing, I can record everything I'm doing, you know, straight into the DAW, into the host, and then it's going to be right there at the end. I can press play and get the exact same result that I did before. Even if I'm using, you know, Ableton or something to do an entire DJ set, I can record the entire thing and then I have the exact set that I just did to begin with, as opposed to, you know, maybe I had to set up like a bunch of different plugins in a chain and then assign my MIDI controller like 10 times over to all these different parameters, and it could get some kind of cool effects, but then they weren't always the same every time, or they weren't reliable. And I also couldn't necessarily record all of that automation as easily as you could here. So I guess what I could do, because often, you know, I do the Stutter Edit demos and talking about it, interesting, but the most fun is playing with it. If there's any brave souls who even just want to, like, because if you press a key, you'll instantly understand, like, oh, I get it, like it does that. So I guarantee that you'll sound like a professional DJ right now, because all you need to do is press keys. So, I don't know, Ian, you wanted someone? Let's, I'll give you
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, just keep it down there for a little bit. Sounds a bit more ominous.
So could that, like, could you link that with like 4 decks on Tractor and it would work? You know, you could.
Does Tractor support plugins? No.
It doesn't. No, it's going to, I think. So when that,
probably will.
You will be able to, won't you?
As soon as it does, you'll be able to, because Stutter Edit, it's an audio unit, it's a VST, a VST3, RTAS. I suppose at some point it will become a X as well, maybe. So yeah, so you get it across all the plugin formats. So as soon as that happens, yeah, you'll be able to to have that, and you know, we'll try and make sure it's supported too.
Yeah.
Because if once you get it in kind of a sort of a tractor environment, that might be really cool. Because it's more than just obviously there are, you know, beat repeat plugins. Ableton comes with some, and they're great. And there's you know, NI has the Finger, I think it's called, and they're good for what they do. But it kind of, the idea behind Stutter Edit is let's do that and more, and just make it so easy to use, just instant, set it up. And because of the way that it's on an audio track and we send MIDI to it, and in every program, that will be set up slightly differently, which is that's just life. But what we do have, when you first load up Stutter Edit, and you can keep it checked if you want, it will say, oh, you're starting Stutter Edit. Do you need help setting it up? And if you say yes, then it will show you the instructions for whatever host, you know, you want to use. If you're using Cubase, it will sort of say this is how you do it in Cubase. If you're using Ableton, it will say do this, and then it will work in Ableton. So it's really easy to set up. And with all of our plugins, you can download it for free, get a 10-day trial. You know, unlimited, check it out, use it as much as you can in those 10 days. Decide if you like it. How could you not? But hey, you know, just give it a go. And if you do like it, then you can come back to places like Soundware and pick it up, which is